Okay.
And who's going to be interviewing Arslan Ash right after this short video.
The five-time Evo champion, Arslan Ash!
I don't know a more dominant player at this point when it comes to Tekken.
دي المفروض الانترفيو اللي اتعملت امبارح.
I have to beat that guy in front of everyone.
Arslan is your Evo Japan champion!
Arslan cementing his position as the best Tekken player on the planet.
One of the greatest players to ever do it.
Thank you. What an incredible legacy. I want to welcome you here today and thank you for your time. 5 Evo championships already. I think one of the greatest records in Evo history. You're maybe on your way to a 6th this weekend. Certainly one of the strongest legacies in the modern era. But you've been winning on Tekken 7, right? You've been practicing on unparalleled record in Tekken 7. You did so well, developed an incredible record, just giving great feedback. Every decision you were making was the right decision. And now Tekken 8 comes. It's a new game, much more aggressive game, built to attract a new audience. A difficult shift. There's a concept in Zen they call beginner's mind, where you try and approach every situation like it's your first day. It's your first time seeing it. Talk to me about your transition from Tekken 7 to Tekken 8. It was rough at the beginning, but you found your way. What was the secret?
Yeah, you were right. Like, Tekken 7, I was so dominant at the end. Like, I closed Tekken 7 with Tekken World to a final win. But Tekken 8, you know, I struggled a lot in the beginning. I lost because it was completely different from Tekken 7. Tekken used to be a fighting game where you could win with just small pokes, like downfall ones, and then good decision makings. And the reward for 50-50 in Tekken 7 was balanced. Like if you block Kazuya also, he get launched, you know, you get a full combo. But now, when I first played Tekken 8, I was like, what is this? Too much 50-50s, too much aggression. Even before, like we have seen the interviews of Harada and other people, they were saying like we are making it aggressive, you know, but we didn't know that they could make this much aggressive, where you can just hold your handle back. Like we have seen Azucena doing a lot of pressure, so it was rough. Like I have been playing from Tekken 6, but that was the first time I was like, I have to learn the game from the beginning, you know. This is a completely different game with the same characters, but the whole thing has been changed.
One of the challenges of being a top player, they say sometimes it's lonely at the top, right? Because you have no maybe where to go up. Yeah. So everyone is looking for you to lose. So the only expectation, all you can do is kind of stay in the same place. It's very difficult. But maybe the Tekken 8 reset in some ways was a gift to give you like a new mountain to climb. Talk to me about climbing a new mountain and also the role of rivalry to keep you motivated to play in addition to just getting the wins.
للكوميونتي اللي بتسألها يعني ما تبقاش أسئلة جينيريك وحاجات متكررة
I am
يعني.
a kind of guy. Even in my school days, I wanted to get #1 position, you know. Even so I have grown this way. So in fighting games, I always wanted to become #1.
How early did you know you were very competitive? Like from the time you were a little kid?
I think when I was in 5th grade. Yeah, I don't know how old I was. Maybe 8 years old, 8 or 9 years old. Yeah, in the beginning, like as I told, like a lot of people starting saying, "Oh, Arslan was good in Tekken 7." I have seen I read the comments like, no, Arslan was only good in Tekken 7, he cannot win in Tekken 8. And which was kind of sad, you know. I got demotivated many times, but I knew deep inside me, you know, that I could win. And when I changed my mentality, that, okay, now I have to learn this game. I am a beginner. I have to relearn this game. And then I did that, and then I won my first Evo, and that was great, you know.
Just a little Evo. Yeah, that's fantastic. I think a lot about one of the first matches that I remember where you really came onto my radar. I feel like you were playing like Keisuke maybe, and like it was maybe a semifinal. I should have written it up before I came out here, but you defended for maybe like 12 in-game seconds in a row, where you did almost nothing. And I was just very impressed with the defense, but also the restraint. How do you think about your...
Keisuke.
Yeah.
I don't think it was Keisuke. Maybe it was someone else.
Not the same. It was, I think, maybe a 2023 match.
Oh, Evo?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was an Evo.
I think it was not Keisuke. I have never fought Evo with Keisuke.
Well, we'll not worry about it. I was impressed with your defense.
Okay.
I should have written down the match.
Okay.
But it was a beautiful, like, not just that you made good defensive choices,
Yeah.
but you had the restraint to not attack. So sometimes great players, what they do is sort of bait you, they invite you to attack. They create an opportunity by inviting you to attack. He would give little openings and still you would not break. And it's very difficult to play against a player. So where does that come from? Not just good defensive choices, but the willingness to wait for your time. How do you make a decision about when it's time to go in versus when I'm going to hold in defense?
I think it comes from experience. First time, I think also it's like it has great influence from Pakistani Tekken style because they press a lot. Like the way
They press a lot, yeah.
the way I think I beat Pakistani players is I just wait and they give mistake. I think that's how I learned, you know, just to defend. If you just defend, they give you a chance. So they give you a mistake and then you take the chance and win. But when I started, this was in Pakistan, you know, that's how I was like, okay, if I just do defense, I can win. But when I went outside, I saw, no, this is not me. Korean players, they play more defensive. They don't attack. Now you have to attack, you know. And then Japanese player and Korean player, they have very similar play style because they play with each other a lot, and then you develop this play style. We have very unique play style where we don't scare of, you know, doing a 50-50 or doing a risk or taking a risk. So through traveling, through experience, I was like, okay, now you shouldn't press. I think it's more like versus Pakistani player, I don't press a lot, but versus Korean or Japanese or other players, I press a lot because this is how I learned, you know, they don't press, so you should
You
press
press a
more.
lot man. اكتر لاعب شفته بيبرس
You
هو.
should be like 50-50. So it's like how I learned. Yeah.
انا ما شفتوش
It's
بيلعب
very
تيكن 7
regional.
بس
I think
يمكن
you were right
تغير.
that the Pakistani scene had like a very unique flavor when it first came out, and part of that was definitely isolation, right? Like you see, not able to play as much as the Korean and Japanese players played each other, so your style developed in a different way.
Yeah.
You see similar things sometimes in music, other kinds of food, local
Yeah.
culture, right? Has a special flavor. How do you think about what defines for you like the Pakistani style?
Pakistani style. I think it's like a mixture of both defense and offense. It's just not defense and it's offense. And then if you like see our play, we just don't think of too much. Oh, if I take this risk, what will we might can lose. I think we don't think about this. We just say, okay, we'll see what will happen, and we just take risk. It's fine. But on the other hand, I know it's a bad thing in tournament, but it's in our blood. I think we just don't care. We just throw moves, you know, sometimes. But some other times we just play defensive. So it's like a mixture of both. I think that's kind of play style is very like unpredictable.
Yeah, I think that's close to the essential, right? It's tough to have a good defensive opponent, but someone who's also willing to take a game-winning kind of risk out of nowhere is very dangerous to kind of corner.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things about Evo, and sometimes what I tell people that don't know fighting games, is what's exciting is also the scary thing about Evo, is that you're going to be seen when you play here, right? People will really see you. So they see all of your tiny mistakes. Every little misstep is judged by experts. But at the same time, those same experts also really appreciate the magic when you make an excellent move, right? You're in front of a special audience of experts.
Yeah.
How do you know when you've cracked a player? Like when you can smell blood in the water and you go in, like you can tell sometimes when you're watching, you can tell even a great player will sometimes start to collapse or freeze up. What gives you the spark in the eye that like, I've got them now?
It's a very tough question. Like nobody has asked me this question, but
والله good questions. I like the questions. أحلى
I think
انترفيو لغاية
there's
دلوقتي.
something like when you are playing someone, and then if you have 2 or 3 reads, they will start losing, you know, their confidence, and then I think that's the time where you can attack. and you can, or maybe if you miss a combo, maybe that thing, or most of the time it's about good reads. If you have very good reads, maybe 2 or 3 in tournaments, and then that player is like, nah, I cannot win. Maybe if you have
2 or
good
3 reads.
You said a lot
combo
there.
drops.
One of the things I always say is the fastest way to get a good player to lose is to make them think, right? If they have to think about something live in the match, very expensive mentally. So like if you get red 2 or 3 times in a row, like you're like, uh-oh, I got to go back to the drawing board.
Yeah.
Or
yeah,
if you miss your combo, like you said, you're sort of stuck. You're like, stupid, you know?
Yeah.
You're upset with yourself. You're not thinking. And so those create those kind of windows for opportunity to attack. For you, I was watching a lot of your old matches, which is why I watched too many.
Like, wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I got too many in my brain now. And I noticed you almost never get hit by the same thing 3 times in a row. Like
really?
You make very good, yeah, news to you. You're very good at adjusting to make sure you don't get hit repeatedly, like that same kind of read in a row. You want to make sure that they have to do different things to try and hit you. And so your adjustment, you adjust super fast, and I find that very impressive. And it's not just that you make all the right decisions or so quickly, it's that you're making sure that they don't get that, I hit you with the same thing 3 times in a row, because now you're going to get stuck in your own head. And that almost never, I mean, of course you lose sometimes matches, but like, you never get hit by that, and I think it's really impressive. What do you think is your sort of secret stat? Like, what is the thing that you do that's sort of, that you have more points in that stat category than all the rest of the players?
I think the one that you mentioned, that's the one I think is correct, because I think it's like a good player thing. It's like a pro player thing. If you're getting the same thing again and again, I don't think you are a good player or like a top player. So that's one of the quality of a top player. What I think is good about me and why I win is, I think my decision making is really good. And I think I read my opponent really well. Maybe these 2 qualities. Decision making, somehow I don't know how I do that, but I know when they're gonna go for a low or mid or something like that. You know, it's just, also I think one thing that I just don't get pressurized so much. Even when I watch my own matches, like I make comebacks, I don't think of, I think I can handle pressurized situations.
ايه مشكلتك مع أرسلان؟ ايه مشكلتك انت مع أرسلان؟
Just making good reads, and I'm not sure, right? So there's a lot of it is just intuition and kind of staying in the moment, which is great.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're looking for a certain attack or you're looking for a certain move, and I think everybody understands how that works.
Yeah.
Sometimes I see top players, they're not just looking for what the player does, they're also looking for what the player does not do. Like, oh, he's not doing this, they're not going for this.
Exactly.
And I feel like that's often the difference between like a very good player and a truly great player, is that they can see even things that are not happening. So what are do you ever look for, is there a thing that you're looking for that's not happening?
راجل
Like this
أسطورة
guy's
قبل
not
النجاح
doing...
كان معروف قبل أول ما يفوز أول بطولة.
It was irritating. Okay, I labbed this, but this guy is not doing it. But recently I discovered, okay, if he's not doing this, I instantly change. Okay, I have plan B always, like, okay.
That fast adjustment again, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I'm waiting for this. I wait for like 2 seconds. If it doesn't do that, I will change it to something else. I have been like thinking of this thing that you mentioned a lot. Like, sometime when I wait for some move and he doesn't do that, I just don't wait for too much. I just change it like, okay, let's do something else.
And part of the way you can do that is by having, you have that, you're looking for it, you have it as a category in your head so you can spot it, even though they're not doing it. I could talk for a long time about that. There's the Bruce Lee story about like, I don't fear the man who has practiced 1,000 kicks. I fear the man who has practiced 1 kick 1,000 times, which I think I'm getting the quote wrong. Is there sort of one technique that you have practiced that you think of is the centerpiece of your game? Is it the defense? Maybe these adjustments? I don't want to keep asking the same thing.
I mean, that's the most difficult questions like I have ever asked. I don't know, like, I think practice is the key. Bruce Lee is right, of course. You have to practice 7 hours a day. For me, I think 7 to 8 hours, if there's a big tournament coming up. But
7 to 8
for
hours.
me, it's more like
A
labbing.
full-time job. That's what that looks like, right?
Yeah. I think we
treating it like a professional.
But I think it's more like that's one thing. But studying your opponent is the one thing, and adjusting. Also thinking of their weaknesses. Some players they just don't block low. Some players they duck so much. Some players are very aggressive, and some players they are very reactive. So if you need to find out like what's the category of your opponent. Is your opponent is very defensive? This is very important to like understand. Also, characters vary as well. Like versus some characters, some players duck so much. So you also need to this is the second layer. It's like a lot of things like happening, but I think it's also important to understand your opponent, how he plays, how he thinks. Is the kind of guy who love to press, or is the kind of guy who just don't press? If he's kind of guy who do rage art or no? Or in heat, some people save heat, some people don't save heat. So it's like a lot of things, a lot of layers. But yeah, this is also important,
معلومات وتفاصيل كتير قوي عن
practicing, these things are also important.
I agree. Yeah, there's sort of like a checklist you can go down to see like how they're playing that day. Are they playing not to lose, or are they trying to blow me up or whatever? And you can make better choices. That's excellent. I could definitely talk about that kind of stuff with you the whole time. But let's talk about. A lot of people know the story of the Pakistani scene like being built up by everybody's work under difficult circumstances, and I think it's inspiring to a lot of people. It's very resonant for me because that's the Evo story as well, right? Like Evo was also built sort of with, now today we're blessed with all kinds of sponsors and people from around the world, but at the beginning it was just motivated people that love fighting games and really wanted to see it happen. And so I feel like there's a very special thing about something that you have to build yourself in the grassroots. Tell me about what that means to you and what motivated you to help
need
be a
to
part
hear
of that
about
in the
the
first
beef,
place.
bro.
What
أكيد
motivated me
هيتكلموا
to-
عن
what?
البيف الموجود دلوقتي.
Fair enough. What does the Pakistani scene mean to you that you were able to build it yourself rather than have a great sort of starting sponsorship? Now you're blessed with Red Bull and other great sponsors, but
I think
that sense of ownership.
I think I am very happy or blessed to be a part of Pakistani scene, and I am here, of course, because of my country, because of Pakistan. I think the culture over there, or the culture before, it was like I don't think it was a very good culture, but it was full of rivalries. Even like I remember like. For me, I didn't have enough money to just go and play. So we used to play, if I used to play, and my rivals both, we used to play money matches to win. Like, for me, I didn't have even money to pay the shopkeeper the fee to play. So I used to do money matches. So this was back into Tekken 6 times. So that was the kind of culture we used to have. Everywhere you go, money match, money match, money match. Because everyone was poor. Me, Hira, and few other players. We all were the same. We didn't have like, we used to eat 2 times, I think. And this is how we used to live. I think that, maybe that helped us get better. When you strive for something, you really value that thing. And maybe that helped me, I wanted to like have money. I wanted to win. Maybe that helped me, where I am today.
Yeah. You talked about the scene was driven by a lot of rivalries at the beginning.
Yeah.
What does it mean to have beef with somebody? Like when you have like bad blood, how does that start? What does it mean to you if you like, I don't like this guy, he doesn't like me, we have beef? What does that mean?
So there's a story. There's a guy called Awes. He still played Tekken, but so very first time, he used to be very famous in Tekken 6 time. So I was getting famous, I was getting better in my area. So I went to his arcade center. So we used to have different arcade centers, Arcade centers are used to be very common thing in Pakistan. So I went to his arcade center and I asked him, let's play FT20. He said, I don't want to play FT20 with you. If you want, you have to play money match. I was like, how much? He said 500 rupees. I was like, I have only 10 rupees.
500
How can I
rupees
pay
دي يعني
500
كم
rupees?
دولار؟
But he was very arrogant
You
at
were
that
getting
time.
bullied.
Yeah,
He was
he
bullying
was
you.
very arrogant, and I was like, okay, if can you play some matches? No. So he was like king of his arcades, and he used to
$6
be the best player in Pakistan at that
لا
time.
لا.
So how we
the ruble,
used to
لا
think
لا
of
ruble.
if someone is better is because no one can beat money match with that guy. So
لا لا لا
and
لا مش
also he has
$6
some
sorry
sponsors.
sorry.
We didn't have any money. He has some like sponsors, like sponsor in terms of people, rich people. So they used to put money on him. So we didn't have anyone rich. For me, I didn't have anyone. I was
$6
like,
$6.
I have to beat this guy, and so somehow, like in 2 months, I collected 500 rupees. You know, I asked a bunch of people, like, I wanna beat this guy. No, you cannot beat him. I was like, no, trust me. And then I played money match, 500 rupees with him, and I lost. But I lost from 30 to 25. That was close. And that gave hope to everyone. Like I saw, like even in a small arcade here, like this one, 50 people were watching, you know, watching my match, and it gave hope to everyone that, oh, we can also win from a West.
This guy can be beat. Yes.
Yeah.
He bleeds like everyone else.
We can beat him. And then there was a tournament, like the biggest tournament in Pakistan. It's called GMC. And then I faced him in the grand final. And then I beat him in the grand final. And then we played another money match after that. We played a money match of 1,500 rupees because I won money from the tournament. I was like, okay, I can play now. And then I beat him very badly. I think, yeah, it's like, I think it's the rivalries, you know, that helped me. No, I am better, and I want to beat this guy. And a lot of rivalries, you know, that's kind of culture we used to have. Now it's better, but I grew up in that culture. I grew up in like around very arrogant people, or yeah.
Same. I grew up in the arcade,
same.
so yeah. No one knew who was the best, so everyone had a
The other beef.
big head,
عايزين
and they all
نسمع
thought they were the champ, and it was a
الحاجات التانية.
lot of bullies. It was good times.
What's the plan?
One of the best things about excuse me, we gotten too far into it. It's
Okay.
we've been having a good time chatting, but we're gonna throw over to Jadelyn and for a quick commercial break. Very
break.
nice. You're looking good up there. Incredible string of victories. Side question, do you ever practice jumping up and down and winning? A lot of players fall down. Like, I don't feel like have you ever fallen after a victory?
أسوأ حاجة الجيمرز بيعملوها اللي بيكسبوا تورنمنتس ما بيعرفوش يحتفلوا فعلا. اللي بيقعوا على وشه واللي بيقعوا على راسه واللي بيقعوا على
when they get too high.
Digesting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a proud tradition of knocking yourself down. You've had a great run. So we
أنا
were
بعرف
talking
أحتفل
before,
كويس
you're talking
أوي.
about
بس
rivalries,
ناقص
you're
نكسب.
talking about money matches. Of course, you have one of the most famous rivalries in the world of fighting games with the Grand Tekken Master Ni. Talk to me about what's going on there these days.
These days, I think a lot of drama. I don't know. It's like a lot of things. Also, one thing about we were talking about money matches and all. I think that was survival mode for me at that time when I was young. I had to play fighting games, but I didn't know that was the only way to pay my bills. Bills in terms of like to pay the shopkeeper the fee of coins, you know, we play. So that was survival mode for me. But now,
So when you're at a certain level of poverty,
Yeah.
right? You don't have a lot of choices.
yeah,
You just gotta gotcha.
I have more
Yeah.
choices now. Now, if it's I can decide if I want to do that or not. But at that time, I didn't. I had to do that to play game the other day. You know, if I don't have. So that's a different story now. So yeah, I just want to talk about that. But I still feel I don't hate him or anything. It's just like, it's just game thing, you know. It's just like Tekken thing. And our story has been one of the craziest stories of rivalries till today. And he's an amazing player, you know. But I think it's mostly about the characters. It's about Brian, and it's about like it's a lot of stupid things. I think he just don't like that I say his character is top 5 or top 2. That's, I don't know why.
Sure. Yeah. We'll talk about Brian and Nina in a bit. One question I guess I have is, one of the things that I love about fighting games is that, you know, in the game we're all beating each other up and we're competing outside the game to see who's the best. But weirdly, over time, because we're doing a thing that's hard, you come to understand another person very deeply. So when I'm thinking about when you have beef or when you have rivalry with someone, sometimes by playing that person more and more, you find new respect for them.
Okay.
Like you find an understand, because you understand them as a player and you can appreciate the excellence. What does respect mean to you? What does it mean for you to have respect?
Respect. The questions.
هجاوب عليه هجاوب عليه ازاي ده؟ ايه السؤال الغريب ده؟
To get it, to give it, yeah.
I think it's such a tough question. I mean,
هحترمه خلاص يا عم، اسأله الأسئلة اللي احنا
respect is
يا
like,
الله.
I don't respect players. Like, why do you respect someone? Because he has great career, or he's better than you. But I don't think anyone is better than me. Like, so why do you respect someone? It's a really tough question. But I don't know.
Maybe respect is not the right attitude if you're trying to win. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. Like, I respect you as a player, yes. Like, if I consider you a worthy rival, that's why I respect you. Yes, yeah.
So we were talking just before the interview a little bit about some things that have changed from sort of the early days of competitions to what's changed now. One of the things, talking about Brian, talking about, you know, characters, one of the things that's changed is now we have access to the developers of the games in a new way, right? You have social media, you can talk to them, sometimes you can tag them in a post to be like, here's what I think, and obviously all of us can do that, but we care more sometimes about deep experts and what their opinion might be. So how do you think about the opportunity to talk to developers, and how do you think about, like, where is the edge of the game, right? Is that considered in the game to be trying to help your character be better, to balance the game in a way that you think is better? What's your responsibility? How do you draw these lines?
Yeah, it's such a...
It's all part of the game?
Yeah, it's really nice. I think that you could share your opinion now. Like back in Tekken 6, Tekken Tag 2, you couldn't do that. But now you have access to share your opinions. And when you are an audience, then, you know, your opinions, they listen to you. They have to listen to you because it go viral, and then eventually they will see, okay, we have to do that, something about this, you know. And it might trigger someone, you know, okay, he's talking about our character. I think that's where the hatred started, you know. If I say something about someone else's character, and if he doesn't like it, he started hating me. But I'm saying the right thing, but if you don't have to agree with me, you know, it's your character. You have been like working so hard every day, you know, labbing. And if I say, no, your character is OP, it need to be nerfed. And then, of course, you're starting hitting me. So it's like, it's really strange. But it's also good. If you don't tell those things, then you cannot have a balanced game, you know. So I don't know, it's good or bad, but maybe it's a good, and overall it's a good thing, you know. But so, because developers are not blind, they can hear, they don't want to like, oh, he's saying this thing, we do this thing, because they have a team of people. I think it's good to share the opinion. We are living in a good area, good era.
I've been on all sides of this thing as a player and a developer, and I got to agree, we'd be happy to. Don't always like hearing the opinions, and sometimes they're not said in a nice way, but I think it's valuable to hear from everybody. So I think if you look at it from that perspective, it's both a right and a responsibility in some ways. So it's good, and I think it helps us talk about the game if you have to put your opinions down and say them out loud and make an argument. I think you're talking about the right things if you're having these arguments.
Yes.
Yeah.
Of course.
So I think that's healthy. Okay, let's speed things up a little bit. We'll get back to some big questions. We'll do a little game I call Overrated, Underrated. So you just tell me whether this is overrated or underrated.
Okay.
Also, you could say accurately rated.
Accurate?
Yeah,
okay.
But that's the boring in the middle answer. So, okay.
Overrated, underrated,
Tekken Tag
accurate.
Tournament 1. Underrated, overrated.
I didn't play that game.
What? Okay, bad answer.
The hell,
Pakistani
man.
Tekken scene, underrated, overrated.
Underrated.
I think
US
overrated.
Tekken scene, underrated,
بغض
overrated.
النظر عن اللاعبين المعروفين.
Fast,
Overrated.
fast. Overrated? Ooh.
Yeah.
Why?
I mean, they never win something big. So how can in Tekken?
Okay,
So yeah.
that one hit for triple damage. EU Tekken scene, underrated, overrated.
I don't like you as well. Like overrated.
Overrated. Everyone's getting overrated. The blow-ups are real. Korean Tekken scene.
Overrated.
Everyone is overrated. All right, Japanese scene I think is the
Underrated.
underrated. I think that's maybe
احنا هنشوف ردود على تويتر قريب. هنشوف اللاعبين بتوع تويتر هيردوا قريب.
correct. Brian, the character.
Overrated, of course.
Overrated. Overrated. Okay.
Overrated, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Playing defense in Tekken 8.
Overrated.
Overrated. Nina.
Underrated.
And are you ready to back that up here this weekend?
Come on.
We'll let it go. We'll let it go. Talk to me about a lot of great players are not just some come out of nowhere, and I think Pakistan surprised a lot of people, but a lot of great players come from a scene. They come from a crew.
Okay, sorry. I think I just take back.
Are we going back to underrated, overrated?
Yeah. I think just the Korean thing was underrated. I love. So the thing is, that was a joke, but in reality, we all learned watching Koreans. So watching Korean Tekken, watching Tekken Crash or something, that was a joke. But if you ask me honestly, I think we all grew up watching Korean Tekken players, and their gameplay, we learned a lot from them. So yeah, if you ask me my honest opinion, yeah, underrated.
For
Very
sure,
strong,
I think
very strong region. Yeah.
Historically, there's no doubt Tekken was brought to a whole new level by
Yeah,
the
I
Korean
think-
players across many games. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was the Koreans like who because of them and Japanese Tekken is so popular. So yeah, 100%.
They're the foundation of the whole
Yeah.
everything that's
Yes,
grown on
yes.
top. It's good. So that makes me ask a question. I want to hear about the crew, but also you have this will to win and sort of an aggressive, like, I don't respect anyone, I'm going, which is great, but you also have it balanced with this humility, right? You're a man of faith, right? You dedicate your wins to a lot, but like, how do you balance this humility with the crazy confidence and aggression? How does that work?
I think it's so hard. Like sometimes I
المشكلة
get
اني ما
backlash.
بيتكلمش انجليزي عايز مترجم.
And
الوضع مش هيبقى سهل زي
I don't
كده.
find an answer to balance it, but every time I win, like deep inside me, I was like, no, I should be staying humble. But there's a different personality of me online, where it's like, no, I am the best, which is actually true. Like you have to think this way. Like if you don't think if you just keep thinking like, no, he is the best or they are the best, then you can never be the best. When you have a lot of accomplishment, you can say that. But sometimes I feel like I just don't like. Okay, if I have an opinion, I have to evaluate. I don't want to like. No, I will not say this because it might look arrogant. That's not me. If I say Brian is top one, doesn't matter. No one. If somebody is not, if like the whole community is like me, I will say that thing. I think that's about me. I just don't feel of like, oh, I might upset this guy. That's a lot of players are doing. They don't share their opinion because they think that, oh, we might upset someone. We might upset developers. So I'm not a kind of guy. I just say my opinions. So maybe it make me feel arrogant, but I just don't, it's just me,
Just trying to express yourself. So, as a top player, I guess sort of a two-part question. What do you feel that you owe the community, and what do you feel the community owes to you?
Wow. I am here because of the community. If Pakistani Tekken players and they were so strong, that made me strong. So they helped me, reach where I'm at today. And I need to like give them more opportunities, which I am giving them in sort of like every win that I win, it helps the scene more, you know. It gives Pakistani scene more spotlight. It gives them more, you know, opportunities. Because now you can see, like, here we have 7 or 5 Pakistani players, and in 2019 I was the only one, and in 2025 we have 5 players at evo. And not only that, we have many sponsored players from Pakistan, like a lot of big companies, Twisted Mind, Falcons, whatever, like Wolves and many other teams. We have sponsored players from Pakistan of all of the teams. So it's really good. So I think I owe them these things, and I can do that by winning more.
Open the door for more people to follow in the path. I think that leads me to sort of, this is one of the, if the questions weren't strange enough so far, get ready. You're undoubtedly one of the kings of Tekken, all-time kings. One of the things about kings is that they can act with nobility. They can exercise power to open up doors for other people. They can try and become their best selves. What does it mean to you to be a king? How do you want to be, what is a way you could be noble? Too weird?
Good question والله سؤال حلو.
If I'm a king, how would I do?
What should a good king do?
Like for Tekken or
for anything, for your scene? Yeah.
For my scene, I would change my passport. I think that's the only thing that is stopping us for traveling a lot. And okay, how you get better? It's through traveling. It's like one of the things that you can get better.
You're goddamn right.
We know that we have strong players. We know that our scene is one of the best scenes in the world, but we don't have opportunities to travel. We have sponsors as well. We have everything. Like, but we don't have a strong passport. We cannot travel. I think that would be the first thing I would do, is to make my passport the best. Or I think, yeah.
That's the very basis of opportunity, right? Apart from the skills, you need to be able to go around and test them. That makes sense. Very down-to-earth answer. I guess I'm also curious, coming into the FGC before you were able to travel, when I first started playing in the scene, I was here to play the games, and I had a great time playing the games and getting better and growing stronger, but I was also blown away at just the weird characters that came to play, right? They were unusual people from all over the world.
عمال يتكلم على باكستان وبدعم باكستان وباكستان وشعب باكستان وانا من باكستان وبقدم باكستان ومع اول سؤال في سلطة قالك غير الباسبور.
So I was curious, before you were able to travel, what did the Pakistani players think of the rest of the FGC? How did it look to them?
Rest of the FGC, like outside of
Yeah, if you're watching video or whatever, like how does it look from the outside?
Yeah, so a very, very good question. Everyone used to think of Koreans and Japanese are something else. Even when I first started traveling, my brother, he told me, no, there's no way you can win. You can win from Korean, Japanese, because they used to dominate the scene, and everyone else, like because I think the very first guy from Pakistan was Avas. He's the same guy, you know. He came to Japan, and he lost to Nobi, and he lost to someone else, and then he came back. He said, no, we cannot win. I was like, and I was different. Trust me, I was different. When I used to watch the gameplay, I was like, no, their blocking is so bad. I can block these things. I can react to this stuff. They are not reacting. Why they are eating Nina sweep, wipe the floor? No, I can react every time. I can react to this stuff, and they are not reacting. I used to think, no, I am better than them. But the rest of the people, they think of them something else. I think my first win, even this is a thing from Atif, you know, we all know him. before I beat Knee, he was like, no, you cannot do, we cannot win from them. When I beat Knee, it's the same story with Avas. When I first beat Avas, everyone started thinking of Avas like, no, we can beat this guy. And then when I beat Knee first time, everyone in Pakistan, oh yeah, because we play with Arslan, we sometimes beat Arslan, then we can beat them, you know. So it gave hope to everyone. So yeah, there was two opinions. I think my opinion was completely changed from the rest of the FGC in Pakistan.
I think that's I can really feel that story.
Good
It sounds
mindset, بجد والله, good
there's-
mindset.
I think that's been
Very
a common
good
case
mindset.
where you treat certain class of players or a group of players as like unbeatable gods, and then somebody is willing to disrespect it and say like, no, I believe it can be possible.
Yeah.
If you don't believe you can win, it's very difficult. And there's literally a thing I call top player privilege, where if you're a very good player, I give you extra respect. Like, oh, he won't do something stupid. Of course he won't do this.
Yeah.
And then you're losing, right? Like you're giving up a lot when you play with respect versus a top player. So that will to win and that will to just do what needs to get done, I think is really critical. Incredible stuff. I think about a lot of also your early days in KOF, like you're a King of Fighters top player as well.
Oh, so that's no. So that there's like a misconception that I used
إيه
to
ده
be a
كان بيلعب
player.
King of Fighters؟
No, I used to be a Tekken player, and then in Tekken Tag 2, when I became super famous in like I was, no one was able to beat me at that time in Pakistan. Then I started playing KOF, and I became so good in KOF that no one was able to beat me in KOF as well. So I was like the best in KF and Tekken at that time. So yeah, that was my reason to starting playing KF, because no one was beating me in Tekken.
I think about players that are able to dominate across kind of multiple games. I think about, you know, Goichi or Chris G or Reinhardt, Justin Wong, F Champ. Like there's so many people who are impressive across different games. What do you feel like there's some underlying skill at the heart of fighting games that makes you good from one to the next? What does that look like?
I think there are some things that I learned from KF, yes. And there are some things that I learned, like, that I carried from Tekken to KF when I started playing KF. Maybe they can give better answer because they play more fighting games, but I only play Tekken and KF. But yeah, you take skills from one game and you apply those skills from other game as well. Like KF helped me with my reaction timing, you know, because they have 3 frame
Short
moves.
hops. Yeah. Short hops and fast jabs.
Fast jab, and Tekken is 10 frame jab. The smallest frame is 10 frame, like the punch, the jab. But KF has 3 frame. It's starting from 3 frame or 5 frame something, 4 or 5 frame. Yeah. So yeah, they help with my reaction timing better. I don't even.
وده
right now,
واقع. انا على فكره
I
الرياكشن
cannot
بتاعي في
hit
تيكن بدأ
overhead.
يتحسن من ساعه ما
I
بديت
can
ستريت
block every
فايتر.
overhead because I practiced the overhead so much in KF 13, and I was like one of the guy who never eat overhead. So yeah.
We saw that a long time ago when Street Fighter, when there started to be Marvel players and they were playing much faster.
Yeah.
So none of the overheads worked against the Marvel kids.
See,
They were
yeah,
too fast.
يا برو الرياكشن غير. انت بتلعب ستريت فايتر وتروح وبروح تيكن رياكشن عالم تاني خالص.
ask a few legacy questions, but before that, I
تحس
guess
ان تلعب ستريت
we
فايتر
talked
بس
about
الموضوع بقى
rivalries and
slower,
beef.
slow motion.
What does it take to get past that? How do those end? Rivalries.
انا ما كنتش فاهمها الاول. ما انت مش هتفهم الا لما تجرب.
When you get better, when you beat that guy, and then when that guy can never beat you, that's one thing. You become friends.
There is a level up experience that is weird, where you sort of that
Yeah.
guy can't beat you anymore.
Yeah, and when you
Yeah.
beat that guy so much, and then he was like, "Okay, you are good."
It's
That's the one
like
way.
a dog who shows you the belly. Like you go,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, I give up.
Now you are better. I think that's the one way. And then it's like he beat you sometime, and then you beat him sometime, and then you become friends, and then that rivalry ends. And then there is like no, it doesn't matter how many times I lose. I'm gonna beat you, and then sometimes that guy beat you as well. I think those rivalries never ends.
So let's talk about legacy, right? Like you're already one of the top Evo winners of all time. Undisputed legacy in Tekken 7. Let's talk about today. What's the #1 change you'd like to see in the fighting game community today?
The change in fighting game community overall.
هنرجع نشوف ما تحرقوش علينا يا
I
جماعة.
don't
لحظة.
know, like what changed?
More Evos, less Evos,
Oh,
more money, more
yeah.
sponsors, less sponsors,
The Evo thing.
more specialized players, more deodorant, whatever it might be. Yeah.
I think I that there's a thing like I said that there should be less Evos. I didn't mean that. I mean Evo USA should be the special, and then I don't mind the growth. There should be more Evos, but I feel like Evo USA for me has a special place. There's a story like when the first time when I beat Nee. Because my story starts from him after beating him, so every time I have to mention him because he's in my story, you know. So when first time I beat him, there's a lot of people. Okay, you beat him this time. When you beat him at Evo USA, then you will be called the best fighting game players. Even when I won Evo Japan, people say no.
Oh, it's a fluke, a fluke.
Yeah, a fluke, and it's not over. You have to win Evo USA. So that thing stuck with me, you know. Okay, Evo USA has like, it has more value. It has the legacy. It has the privilege. Everything, like prestige. So maybe that one change. Maybe they should make Evo USA special and the rest of the Evo less special, like SS plus something like that.
All trade-offs, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I think we are just living in a very good world. Like we have opportunities to play online, and then we have tournaments. We have EWC.
Yes,
we have
yes,
a lot
we're
of
lucky.
things, you know. I
We're
think
lucky.
we are living in a
الوضع
very
زمان ما
good
كانش كده خالص.
era of fighting games.
I feel like I'm getting in the
it's a
golden
healthy time,
era
right?
of
every time there's change,
fighting
it's
games.
difficult to figure it out. But so the last thing I guess I'd love to ask is the same question. Imagine the FGC 10 years from now.
After
10 years from today.
Okay.
What changes would you like
شفت
to see
الترجمة
there?
الحرفية؟
What's the happy timeline for the FGC 10 years from now? The crowd has feelings on more money.
more prize money for Evo. Yeah, the first change.
The
Yeah,
one thing we've
yes.
agreed on for 30 years. We'd
Yeah,
like
I think
some
that
more
would
money.
be because if you think of Evo, the biggest fighting game tournament, there should be more money. Yeah. And the next.
Let's
يا
talk
جماعة
about
اللي
the culture.
بتتفرج وبتقرا الترجمة في ترجمة كتير
Where would
غلط
you
ما
like to
حدش
see the culture change?
I can tell about Pakistan. Like I don't know about overall scene. I think in the future I want Tekken or fighting game scene to be in Pakistan to be acknowledged as cricket because
As acknowledged as cricket.
yeah, because cricket is
Which
super
is
popular.
sort of the
It's
super
like
sport, and yeah.
Cricketers, they are superstars in Pakistan, and like which I like it. You know, I am fan of them, but I think we are doing the same amount of work. We have been winning. We also promoting Pakistan in sports, in esports. So that change would be really nice, and maybe the government acknowledge us and give us maybe diplomatic passport, something else, you know, or the overall scene of fighting games. I want them to be better in Pakistan, to be as same as cricket. Yeah, that would be my wish.
That's what respect looks like to you.
Huh?
That's what respect looks like to you.
Yeah.
Well, Arslan, I just want to say thank you. This has been an incredible chance to talk today. Good luck in the
طب
tournament.
مفيش
this
ني
weekend,
مفيش
and,
دور ني
thanks
طيب
again
نسمع
very
الراجل
much.
بيتكلم.
Let's hear it for Arslan.
Good interview.